Good morning, everyone. The Honorable All Participant International Conference on Radiocene, Equatorial Atmospheric Science and Environment, INCRES, and the 6th Asia Research Node, ARN, Symposium on Humanosphere Science, 2022, September 2021. My name is Vira Friska. I'm from the Department of Physics, Universitas Andalas. So today I would like to present my research with the title is Indo-Australian Plate Velocity Measurement during Interseismic Phase in 2011 to 2012 using Sumatran GPS Array or SUGAR data. The author of this research are Desi Arisa, Marzuki, and Fadila Monica. Sumatra Island is our part of the edge, Sunda Arc of the southern part of the Eurasian plate. The circuit includes island arc system with a subduction mechanism between the India-Australian plate against the Eurasian plate in the north. The subduction mechanism causes the surrounding area to be potential for earthquake. The earthquake has a cycle which consisting of interseismic, pre-seismic, co-seismic, and post-seismic. Interseismic is the phase when energy begins to accumulate at the boundaries between plates and breaks. Pre-seismic is just before an earthquake occurs. Co-seismic is the phase when the main earthquake occurs, and the post-seismic is the phase when residual earthquake energy released. The cycle can start with the formation, which is geodynamic process in the Earth's crust that occurs as a result of sudden movements such as earthquakes and other major seismic events. There are several methods to observe the surface deformation due to the earthquake, and one of the methods is taking advantage of GPS data. GPS observation network, which have been installed in Indonesia, is SUGAR or Sumatran GPS Array. So in this research, we investigated Indo-Australian plate velocity during interseismic phase in 2011 to 2012 because the size of the earthquake depends on how big and how long the energy is locked or collected in the interseismic process in the area. Figure number 1 is the geological map of Sumatra. Red dot is a SUGAR station that be used in this study. Table number 1 shows the list of used data, which are RINEC SUGAR data, IGS Orbit data, IGS data, and so on. And table number 2 shows list of used SUGAR station. There are 8 stations that we use. Meanwhile, a list of used IGS station can be seen in figure number 2. There are 15 IGS stations that be used. After the collecting the data, the next step is process the data. The study using GAMIT GlobeK processing software to obtain the daily position data. GAMIT processes the GPS data in RINEC or Receiver Independent Exchange format, and the GAMIT process result are the daily coordinates of all RINEC's data from GPS station. Some files that can be used to know the quality of GAMIT processing are Q file and summary file. Q file is contain information of a priori, spherical, adjust, formal, and postfit coordinates, and H file is the file used as input for running GlobeK. The result of the GlobeK was displayed in a time series plot of dynamic horizontal and vertical position from the GPS station. So this is the result of this research. The first is GAMIT GlobeK processing analysis. The first step to check the result of the gamete processing is to analyze the signal ambiguity values from the SH gamete summary file. Figure number 3 is the WL and NL values from gamete processing for 2 years. X-axis is the day of year observation, and Y-axis is percentage of the NL and WL values. The WL values indicates noise in the pseudorank, while the NL values indicates the quality size, network configuration, orbit quality, a priori coordinates, and atmospheric condition. Value of the WL and NL are above 90% and 80% that are set as standards in this study. Furthermore, these values still be acceptable around 80% and 70%. SH gamete summary file also contains the NRMS data that is also important to analyze errors from the result of the gamete process, with a standard value for post-fit NRMS is below 0.25. And this is the velocity measurement during interseismic path in 2011 to 2012. Figure number 4 is time series graph of Sugar Station, BSIM, UMLH, BTHL, and SLBU during 2011 to 2012. X-axis is day of years observation, and Y-axis is horizontal and vertical shift. That is northward, eastward, and upward shift. According to the time series graph, a co-seismic jump was observed on the 102 days of the year in 2012. It's 8.4 magnitude earthquake, which happened in April 11, 2012 at west coast of Sumatra. The 3 largest displacement was observed at the BSIM, UMLH, and BTHL station. These 3 Sugar stations are among the closest to the epicenter of the earthquake. And figure number 5 is time series graph of the formation of Sugar station, PRKB, PTLO, MLKN, and NGNG during 2011-2012. According to the time series, Sugar horizontal deformation factor in the interseismic path, or the first day OY to a day before the jump, have different horizontal shift directions, but all indicate stable movement. The displacement in the interseismic path varies for each station. Most deformation translates to the northeast direction. This is in accordance with the direction of Indo-Australian plate sloping, but the direction of the formation changed to the southwest as the day of the April 11, 2012 earthquake approaches. Table number 3 is velocity rate of Sugar station during 2011-2012. The largest velocity was observed at the SLBU with 114.78 mm per year, leads to southwest, and the smallest was BSIM with 7.44 mm per year, leads to southeast, and the average velocity of the other Sugar station is about 34.76 mm per year. And the figure number 6 is map of Sugar station velocity during 2011-2012. Some of the Sugar stations tend to be stable with the direction to the northeast in accordance with the direction of the oblique subduction of the Indo-Australian plate. The stations are BTHL, PTLO, NGNG, and MLKN. So this is conclusion of this research. Based on data processing from 8 Sugar stations during 2011-2012, the velocity rate in the interseismic path varies for each station, with some of the Sugar stations tend to be stable with direction to the northeast in accordance with the direction of the oblique subduction of the Indo-Australian plate. The largest velocity was observed at the SLBU, and the smallest was BSIM. Co-seismic jump was observed on the 102 days of the year in 2012. It's 8.4 magnitude earthquake which happened in April 11, 2012 at the west of Sumatra. Okay, that's all of my presentation. Thank you.